She puts the hair, she cuts it a little bit, and then she drops this massive bombs because she tells me that she's not a hairstylist. So now it's up to me.
Wow.
She basically let me go with this hair that was like up to here.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back, everybody. Today we have Sebastiano over in South Africa with us. Everyone, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell below because that stuff helps us destigmatize hair loss even further and get this message out to more people. Sebastiano, how are you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I mean, it's summer over here, so it's you guys who are suffering right now. We are good.
Some people are suffering. I get to go out and go snowboarding, which is like one of my favorite things in the world. So it's all good.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, man, I love it. So Sebastiano is now wearing a hair system like many of us suffers from or has dealt with hair loss throughout his life. So we got a lot to talk about, man, a lot of interesting stuff that people may not have had to deal with themselves, or you just got some interesting stories. So let's start at the beginning. Let's hear about your kind of origin story dealing with hair loss. All right, so let's tell people about it.
So, well, to begin with, like my family from both sides, every male is bald. So when I was growing up, I had this thing like just breathing on my neck that I knew was gonna happen, except that you just kind of don't want to admit it.
Right.
You don't want to just admit it that it's gonna happen. I actually had just one uncle who has a full set of hair, beautiful, like curly hair. And all my life I was like, maybe I have his genes, maybe.
Out of the 100 other men that are in my family, I can tell I got his genes. I feel it in my soul.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't the case. So I started noticing kind of like how my hair were getting less thick when I was right out of like high school. So like 18, 19 years old. And I remember actually a friend of mine, he was having the same problem. And he did something that I still think is really clever. Like as soon as he was out of high school, he shaved his head straight up. And he kept it like this for the rest of his life. So I keep telling him that he got used to it.
Yeah.
Well, I started changing hairstyles to kind of cover it. I started shortening my hair. I started cutting the sides like military style. And I got through university just fine. Nobody's ever made a comment. It was still okay. As soon as I moved to Los Angeles, actually. I was doing my master's degree in filmmaking. And that's where things started going kind of south.
How so?
That's when it started to becoming like visible, and I started wearing a hat more often. I discovered Rogaine or minoxidil. Doesn't matter. Any of those that contains minoxidil. And it kind of slowed down the hair loss for a little bit, but it was still like way too noticeable. So I was just the guy always wearing a hat, basically.
Yeah, man. And it's that progression, like, you're saying that your friend just kind of like went for it and he just shaved his head. Like, I think that's a viable thing to do. And it makes sense, right? Because it's just like, I'm gonna cut this cord and we're just gonna do this thing way less painful than over 5. Well, some people it takes a year, some people it takes 5 years, but like changing the hairstyles, trying to cover it up, feeling like, oh my God, like my hair is thinning, like starting to wear hats, like it's a whole thing. And it's psychologically painful.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is that what happened is that as soon as I was done with my master's degree, I decided to do what he did back then. And I was like, you know what? I'm also going to shave my head. That's fine. Let me shave my head. And I didn't like it from the get-go. I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, no. But I was like, whatever. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to deal with it. But the problem is that everybody who knew me, as soon as they saw me with a shaved head, everybody, including my family, which they know that I have no choice, they were like, oh, why did you do that? Why did you shave your head? And I was like, oh, that doesn't help me at all making this decision. And suddenly I think it was on Instagram, on Facebook, I saw a video with this thing called Topic, where the guy was like sprinkling this thing on his head, and suddenly he has like a full set of hair. And I thought it was complete bullshit, but being vulnerable at the time, I'm like, well, let me just go with it. I'm gonna buy it. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it looks. And unfortunately, it looked good. It looked really good because I still had some hair So you know how it works. It just makes your hair kind of thicker.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked really good. And I discovered that if you put like a lot of hairspray, you can even work out. I went surfing with it and it would stay on. It was like impressed.
Wow.
I was super impressed. I'm like, okay, this is going to be like this for forever. Except for the fact that I was still losing hair. So I got last year to the point where it didn't look good anymore. Like you could tell that, like it looked like makeup. It looked like I was just coloring my hair.
Yeah.
And so it was back to the hat.
Back to the
Back
hat.
to the
Good
hat.
the old friend, the hat.
Back to the hat, which I hated it. I started my YouTube channel a year ago and I was like, I'm gonna wear a hat constantly because there's no way I can deal with the topic. And I was ready to shave my head and suddenly, what's his name? Phil does hair.
Right.
I think he's in New York. Suddenly I saw, because obviously I'm searching for stuff, obviously. And the social media knows about this, like Facebook knows it, Instagram knows it. So I'm getting bombarded with all sorts of hair solution and hair transplants and whatnot. So obviously I got the ad for Phil Does Hair. And I thought, this looks good.
Pretty good.
I was like, it doesn't look bad at all. Let me check it. And I saw videos of people jumping in the pool, people doing all sorts of crazy activity, bungee jumping with this hair system. And I'm like, oh, this looks perfect. I think I want to do it. Except no one does it here.
Right.
Like over there in the States, you have so many people because I found your videos. I found I don't know, the hair experience. That's his name.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I found like all these videos and I'm watching all of you guys, all the tips and tricks, how to attach it. It's not super expensive if you do it yourself. And I'm pretty good with my hands. I'm like, I can probably do it with myself. I just need to find the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
I started messaging every hair salon here in Cape Town with the link to the video. Nobody had a clue what to do with it. Mm-hmm. Finally, one of them responded. And he responded right where we started our lockdown over here.
Ooh.
So there was no shipment, no allowed, you cannot go anywhere, everything is closed. So now I'm just like sitting here in a lockdown thinking, should I do it, should I not do it? Can this guy have it, can not have it? Do they know how to do it, or are they just saying that they know how to do it because they want me to pay? Because
right.
that's
Lots of doubt on your side and lots of indecision.
Yeah, but I was still like, I was still watching all of your videos and other people, and I'm like, all of you look so happy. You guys want to do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna give up. So I told these people, as soon as we're out of lockdown, let's do this. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. We get out of lockdown, and they go, we can do it, but we don't have the hair pieces. We're gonna have to order it from China. And I was like, okay, let's order it from China. How long is it gonna take? And they tell me 7 days. You just don't worry, 7 days, it will be here, no problem.
Sure.
It took 2 months.
Yep. Sounds about right.
It took 2 months, and I did not have a choice. This is like, actually, I think this is way too much hair for like the volume is like way too much, but I didn't have a choice. This was the piece. And I got lucky that this is my color.
Sure.
Matches my color. Otherwise, I had no idea what could possibly happen.
So what type of hair system are you wearing right now? Is this
So this is a poly.
Okay.
And I just attached with tape because I don't
Great.
have any other choice.
Great. Well, you may feel like it's too dense. Some people may say it's too dense, but you know what, man? You look, in my opinion, you look great. You look happy.
No thanks. I actually worked out today, so it's very gross.
You know what? It looks like you're just going about your life doing your thing, dude, which, so that's good. But
I'm like, listen, that's the thing. I don't do it professionally, but occasionally I perform on stage. I perform magic and stand-up comedy. And in the past year, I started doing it with a hat, and I really hate it. I really hate it. Also, it's like the lights covers my eyes. It's weird. And also, I'm wearing. Usually, I'm dressed nice, and I have this hat on my head. It really doesn't match.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be nice. But the nightmare is not over. I know it's a long story, but this is what happened when you're not in the States. I guess we don't have. So I'm not gonna mention the name because it's not my place. But I'm pretty sure that the lady who installed this did not know what to do.
Okay.
Because I watch all of your videos and I see how you guys do it, and that's not at all. So she put the tape around the perimeter on the unit, and then she put the tape on my head around the perimeter as well.
Double tape.
Double tape on the same spot.
Right.
And when she lay it down, the front tape wasn't matching.
Uh-oh.
So she had to remove the extra tape, which of course what happens, it's very sticky, so it got dirty. So I had this like black line straight, and for the first week I had to cover my my hairline because it was terrible. And worst thing of all, she puts the hair, she cuts it a little bit, and then she drops these massive bombs because she tells me that she's not a hairstylist. So now it's up to me. She basically let me go with this hair that was like up to here.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to find an hair salon now, which I was super scared because this was not cheap.
Right.
It's not easy to get into the country. And now I have to go to another place, which probably they've never seen anything like this. And I have to show them a video, maybe, I don't know. Fortunately, I found a place, and it was this girl. She was very careful. I can tell that she was afraid, but she was very careful. She cut it short enough, and it turned out fine. But I'm afraid because I'm gonna have to replace this at some point, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have to come to the States if this lockdown ends.
Maybe. I think maybe that woman right there, you've gone through the fire with her, you've gone through the adversity. Maybe she'll be a great person for you to partner with, and maybe she can offer that service as the first person in South Africa. Like, that could be a really amazing thing for her and for you. Maybe you could build a business off of it.
That could be interesting. And I think I asked them about that, the first lady, and this is where it got interesting because, so she claims that she have done this before, and I believe her. It's possible. They do a lot of hair for. Over here it's very popular for black girls or black women. They do a lot of hair extension and wear wigs. It's like so. I'm pretty sure she knows about hair. Maybe she's never done it on a boy, but she knows how to do all the stuff. But I remember when I asked, I asked them, like, how come you don't do an ad for this? And she told me that it's just a stigma. Like, they don't, men don't want other people to know. So they don't want to run ads because nobody will come to them if they know that it's for this.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of preconceived notions about the stigma, and there is a stigma out there, but that's why this channel exists, is to break down that stigma. It's a lot less about hair systems and a lot more about becoming the best men possible that we can, and dealing with hair losses is part of that, and breaking down that stigma and making it okay for men to feel like they can go out there and look their best and be their best. So I think that we're getting there. I think it's going to take some time, but to all those people out there watching, all the companies out there watching, let's do some work. Let's make it happen. But I'm happy, that you've fought through a lot of the adversity. That's more adversity than most of us probably will ever have to face. This is a great. Yeah,
I didn't want to give up on this.
Yeah, well, good, man. That's the way to take it, though. Like, as a man, sidebar here, I think it's really important to realize that, like, when we want to do something, when we want to go after something, adversity is not a sign that we shouldn't continue. Often adversity is a test of our will to see just how bad we want something, and often we can learn a lot from those experiences, those rites of passage, so to speak, these things that are challenging, but we walk out the other side with victory. And I think that you're going to come out of this experience, man, and you're going to have a lot less anxiety and stress, because you'll be like, man, I went through all of this stuff at the beginning. Now it's just like, whatever. I'm going to be like, I got it all handled. So I think, just speaking some life in and some positive words into you, I think that you're going to be absolutely fine, and you're going to be better off than most because of all this adversity. Now, so you've gone through a lot. So let's kind of switch a little bit into the second half of the discussion. Let's talk a little bit about, like, this psychological journey. Like, how have you felt like it's impacted you before and after? Do you feel a difference? What do you feel?
The since I haven't had like this much hair for a long time, the first couple of days, maybe it was connected to the fact that it was such a nightmare to get to this. The first couple of days, I couldn't recognize my face. It was something very weird, and I couldn't tell if it was a good thing or a bad thing. Like it took me like, I want to say it took me a week before I was like, okay, you know what? No, I can see myself in this, and I like it much better. Like I like it much better, because
Sure.
I used to have long hair when I was younger, and I don't know, I just prefer it. And I did on purpose. I took a vacation exactly the week when I installed this, because I was like, I don't want to see anybody. I just want to be, you know, basically by myself. My partner is gonna come with me. We're gonna take a vacation. We're gonna go places and not even talk about it. Just like
Sure.
pretend it was
just
always
be,
here.
just
Yeah.
be, and
Just
kind of
be.
get used
It was
to
always- yeah.
living around other people, seeing people with, you know, this brand new part of yourself instead of, you know, having the questions at the first little bit. So how did your girlfriend handle all this stuff? You said you have a girlfriend, right?
Yes. She
Okay, gotcha.
she was laughing most of the time, because apparently I'm a funny guy when I get frustrated. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I do my best when I'm a little bit frustrated. But then after we went on a vacation, towards the end, she noticed how I was starting enjoying this. And it's the same thing. Like she doesn't care whether or not I shave my head or I have this. She just want to see me that I'm happy. And that's the point. When she started noticing that I like myself like this way more, she was happy for me. So like,
That's great.
now she's on board. It was her idea actually for me to contact you.
Oh wow. Okay, that's super cool. Well, thanks, girlfriend.
No, she was like, you should, because there's nobody here. She was like, you should talk to someone who's who's going through the same experience. You should find somebody who has it. And since there's nobody here, try to go online. It's like, you're a YouTuber, a small one, but people will respond.
Yeah, man. No, you definitely should. I've actually made some great friends just through talking online about these things, and I don't know. Sorry, I'm actually gonna start that over because I accidentally pinned my video and I'm recording yours. Yeah, man. I think that you should definitely keep contacting people. I'm glad you contacted me. I've made some great friends just through this online thing. I actually I have a friend here right in Utah where I live now who we've met online, and it's Michael Joseph, who has another YouTube channel, and we hang out. So it's good to just be in community and have people around that are supporting you and rooting for you and know some of the things that you're going for. So 100% glad you reached out and continue to do so. Is there any advice? Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience? There's probably gonna be 1,000 or more people that are watching this video. Is there any messages that you would like to get across them to make sure that they, can voyage on this journey?
Okay, I have two. One is more of a practical thing that I notice. I don't think any of you has figured this out. And the other one is more of like a psychological thing that might help. The first one is that, so I do Krav Maga
Sweet.
almost every day, which means that we do grab our heads, we do things with our heads like a lot. And I was terrified of it. But I've been wearing, because we sweat a lot also, I've been wearing a sweat cap, basically. And I was wearing it even before. And it just makes me like, if you do any of this type of sports where someone is gonna, maybe touch your head or whatever, just wear a sweat cap. It's like an extra level of protection and keeps everything there. And if someone by mistake like pushes you to the side, the sweat cap is gonna go and not your actual hair or head. And it keeps it like perfectly like in place. So that's my
great.
little trick if you're doing any extreme sports or any fighting sports that requires you to to get punched in the head.
If anybody wants to go get punched in the head, just get a sweat cap. You're
Just
good.
get a sweat cap. I don't know if
Cool.
you do like, I guess jiu-jitsu, any of the sports that you might end up in a situation where your head needs to slide. It's better than you have an extra layer of protection. That's what I noticed. And the other advice is more of a psychological thing, and it's something I noticed. So I've been performing magic for a long time, and I started kind of like misdirection and this type of things. It's gonna get to a point, and it's gonna make sense. My point is that people don't necessarily care as much as you do. Like, don't think that they're gonna be like, I showed up with this hair at my gym and I know that they know, but yet nobody, you know, sometimes they're too polite to ask. Sometimes they're just like, oh, whatever, he has this thing, he's happy, he looks good. Like, we have to deal with it 24/7. So of course we keep thinking about it. It's like inside us and we're like, oh, what people are gonna think. But people also have their own little problems that they're thinking about it 24/7. They're not gonna care as much. So don't worry about it too much. Just if you wanna do it for yourself, go out. If someone is gonna ask you, be honest and tell them. But like, most people are not going to ask you because they don't care as much as you do. Not in a bad
100%.
way, not that they don't care about you. I'm just saying they don't care as much. They're not as worried as you are.
And you know what, just to add in there a little bit, you know, you said that you do magic, and misdirection is part of it. You know, we're constantly able to deceive people or help them, make them see what we want them to see. And hey, as long as it looks, you know, 65% of the way there, most people will believe what they want to believe, what is natural for them to see. If someone can make a card disappear by just going like that and it's behind their hand, I think that we're going to be okay with these hair systems. So once again, thank you so much, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below, and we will see you soon.